Hello everyone and welcome to my channel. My name is Crown and today we are going to have some more stories that I hope that you will enjoy. But before we start, it would be so much appreciated if you would subscribe to the channel, like the video if you enjoyed it, and maybe leave a comment down below. These simple clicks would mean a lot to the future of this channel and really reward the effort that I put in every day. And now, without further ado, let's go! First story. Entitled parent assaults me with her car so she can park in the handicap access aisle. So last night was fun. I had to go to the grocery store to get a couple of things. So to set the scene, I parked in a legit parking space that was nose to nose with a handicap access aisle. I'm disabled and have disability parking license plates, so I tend to park close. And this spot wasn't a handicap space, but adjacent to one. Where I'm at in southern Arizona, there is a huge problem with fraudulent use of handicap placards. People often use their disabled relatives' passes, so often the handicap parking is full. As I'm walking through the handicap access aisle slowly, I'm having a bad day, can barely stand up. This Hispanic woman in a white Lexus starts backing her car into me. Not my car, into my body. She screams out of her window, "Get out of the way, I need to park!" She backs her car up and makes me stumble, which really hurts. Then she stops her car, which incidentally blocks access to the van in the wheelchair parking space, gets out, and starts screaming at me for blocking her parking space. I tell her, "You just assaulted me with your car. This is not a parking space, it's a handicap access aisle. I am calling the police." And her response? She tells me that she'll tell the police I assaulted her. I hit the record button on my phone, which turns on the flash too, and ask her if she wants to repeat that for the recording so I can make her internet famous. She then starts yelling at me, calling me the parking lot police, and I tell her that she's literally blocking the vehicle in the handicap spot. And her response is to go woo woo, like a police siren I guess, and go into the store. But it doesn't end here. The owner of the white minivan comes out. He's a senior citizen with one leg, using a mobility scooter. Sure enough, he cannot get to his vehicle to load his groceries and leave. Of course, I'm in no use. I'm in a really bad shape that day, lots of pain, just want to grab a car to lean on and get in a store to grab food for my kid who's waiting for me at home. One of the employees from the store comes out, and the two of them, the employee and the disabled man who owns the van, start trying to figure out what to do. And I'm on the phone with a police dispatcher at this time. Ultra-entitled woman comes out and literally mocks the disabled man, tells him he shouldn't go out if he can't take care of himself, yells more insults at me, and gets in her car leaning on her horn. The disabled man on the scooter gets help to finish loading and is able to get out. Then the entitled woman pulls out. I finally walk into the store and the crazy entitled woman sees me, acts like she's going to ram me with her car, and leans on her horn before driving off. Of course, the police dispatcher tells me they don't have any officer to send out, but they do record all calls and she heard part of that. And I did get some of this on video. Man, I wish I were more savvy with video editing and such. I got only a fraction of this, but enough to see what she had done and how she was acting. I would love to make someone so awful internet famous. Even though I have the most annoying voice in the world, now that Gilbert Gottfried has passed. The police are supposed to contact me later this week and provide me a link to upload the video, so she gets a ticket. It's a $500+ fine for blocking a handicap access aisle here. Edit. Yes, she's a parent. I had seen her with a little girl at the grocery store in the past. I shop there all the time as it's only 3/4 of a mile from my home. I could walk there easily if I weren't disabled. Entitled Karen sues over $10. Ends up paying over $1,000 in legal fees. This story is from a few years ago when I worked in the legal department of a 1,000+ store national retailer. As part of my job, I handle customer complaints that were elevated when the customer threatened legal action. Our customer service call center forwarded the entitled mother's call to me after she threatened legal action. The entitled mother left a message claiming that she was not provided $10 in customer reward coupons. Spend $200, receive a $10 coupon in the mail sort of thing. This was before apps. Based on her purchase of clothing for her son and daughter for back to school, I looked into it and called the entitled mother back. It turned out we had an old address associated with her rewards account. No big deal, right? I spoke with the entitled mother and offered to send her the original $10 coupon and an additional $25 for her travel to the correct address, and that did not satisfy her. She claimed we should have known her address and threatened to sue us if we did not pay her $1,000 in cash. Her rationale was that it would cost us at least $1,000 to defend the suit. She was in a state in which our company did not have any offices, so we should just pay it to her. I declined, but still forwarded her the $10 coupon she was entitled to pursuant to our rewards program. Sure enough, she sued us for breach of contract, fraud, and any other conceivable charge. I went to my boss, the COO, and told him the story. He asked me what I wanted to do. I said I'd rather pay legal fees to a defense attorney than pay this entitled mother, and he agreed. I contacted the awesome attorney, explained the situation to him, and I kid you not, he said, in a southern drawl, "I get to sue this entitled mother? I should be paying you guys. There are a lot of lawyers in this legal community who would love to sue her as she's reckless, unpleasant, and a total pain in the butt to deal with. I'll gladly take your case." And he agreed to defend us at a reduced rate. Part of our defense strategy was to countersue her under the state's frivolous lawsuit statute, which would move the suit from small claims court to the larger civil court. The awesome attorney filed our answer and counterclaim. Although the entitled mother was an attorney, she was not a defense attorney, so she had to engage her own attorney to defend against the counterclaim. After a couple of hearings, she offered to settle for no more money exchanged. She didn't even get the extra $25 coupon I offered her. At the dismissal of both suits, I talked with the awesome attorney about continuing our claim, but he advised it would probably be worth settling and being done with it rather than being vindictive. Although vindictive would have been fun, but courts tend to not like that, so I agreed. My company ended up paying the awesome attorney $900 in attorney fees. The awesome attorney later called and told us that the attorney entitled mother engaged with charged her $1,700 to defend the suit. Although I would have liked to continue with our suit, I think her having to pay $1,700 over a $10 coupon sent to the wrong address is sufficient justice. Next story. I did not know this. I was not supposed to steal. Facepalm. Yesterday we visited a garden that my mom owns at 6 a.m. on a Sunday morning. My mom and I live in a city and we often drive for 30 minutes to get to my mom's village in southern Thailand. The land she owns is too small to be called a farm, and we often call it the garden, where my mom and I can unleash our botanical skill and hobby. We are not farmers by trade, but we have few trees and vegetables that my mom and I had planted, worked hard and cared for years. And on that day yesterday, we went really early before sunrise to have more time before the sun gets too hot at 10 a.m. in the morning. But as my mom and I turned the corner, we caught a thief red-handed. She, the thief, was carrying two large bamboo sprouts or bamboo shoots, which is the edible part of the bamboo. A bamboo sprout is delicious and it's a staple to many Asian cuisines. And each sprout/shoot was the size of a large newborn baby. My mom was initially in shock because the thief is someone whom she considered a friend and a confidant, a young and a pious friend in her mid-20s who listens to my mom's stories attentively, unlike her only son, that's me, who is often cynical and a know-it-all. I, on the other hand, never liked that person because she seems to have a lot of authority in our affairs. So catching her red-handed felt like the perfect Christmas gift with a big note, "I told you so." And the best part, she tried running away when she saw me before I plucked her escape. I went ballistic from 0 to 100% explosive in zero point 0.6 seconds. And I immediately accused her of being a thief, a liar, and a traitor. And it was a perfect setup because her escape motorbike was behind me and I made a gesture with my arms that she could not outmaneuver me or beat me in a physical fight. I'm 230 pounds and she was like 150. So instead she called my mom for help despite of her absolute betrayal. For years my mom has been complaining about theft and vandalism on our green to anyone who would listen. And my mom often got emotional and heartbroken whenever something that she planted and had worked hard and long for went missing. This thief/friend knew the exact impact of stealing stuff from my mom's garden, but still she went for it. It's probably the cause of this recurrent heartache for years. I told my mom and everyone else. We did not have a lot of crops in our garden, but we had put a lot of love, time and hard work into it. I had my 2-stroke weed whacker/grass trimmer engine. It is big, noisy and heavy, just Google it. At the back of my Chevy Cruze yesterday, it is about 1.68 meters. It's about 5'5" long, and it's really heavy. And I had to bring it with me regularly in our 30-minute journey from the city for years, only to see this garbage of a human being benefiting from our hard labor. And for years, I told everyone, and I was not mincing my words. We only had 6 to 8 bamboo trees on that land, and the main reason why we did not harvest the sprouts nor the wood ourselves was because we wanted to have more bamboo trees before we could start harvesting them. So this thief had just destroyed a year of hard work and planning in one single day. So explain yourself, thief. Excuse 1. I did not know that you will be here today. And as dumb that excuse was, she kept repeating the same sentence again and again, as if it was a valid excuse to begin with. She was not sorry that she was stealing. No. She was more sorry that she got caught. In fact, I've never heard her saying I'm sorry or it's my fault to my face. She just kept throwing out more excuses to the wall to see which one would stick. Excuse number 2. Kakmao, my mom's sister who lives next door, has given me permission to harvest the sprouts. Unfortunately for the thief, my aunt was at home that day because she decided to delay her next chemotherapy session for a few days. It was so loud at 6 a.m. in the morning that my aunt and a few other villagers came out to investigate the ruckus outside. As you can expect, my aunt had zero knowledge of what the thief was talking about. So try again, witch. Excuse number 3. If I did not harvest them, the sprouts would spoil and go to waste. I swear to God, this is the dumbest thing that I have ever heard coming out of her mouth, and she had said some really dumb stuff in the years we've known her. So now she was doing us a favor by stealing our stuff, huh? Just for your information, in case you have any doubt, a healthy bamboo sprout/shoot does not spoil. It simply grows taller into a bamboo tree. Again, the main reason that we did not harvest the sprouts ourselves was because we only had a few bamboo trees, and we wanted to have a few more trees before we started harvesting in amounts that are sustainable. I had to drill this part hard into her tiny brain. The bamboo sprouts are not like fruits on a tree that could get spoiled if we did not pick them up on time. Excuse number 4. I do not do this always, which is another non-excuse, but it was her main defense to the accusations that I was making against her, and it kinda worked because some villagers echoed what she said, that it was an honest one-time mistake. At the end, my mom pulled her friend away to sort out the problem among the women folk. I was still happy that this whole incident went public real quick. Hey, trust me, in this small community of mostly farmers, news and gossip spread faster than forest fires and COVID-19 itself, especially about a neighbor who steals crops from other people's gardens and farms. You cannot and you shouldn't hurt someone physically to satisfy your anger, and to exert your own sense of justice on people for obvious moral and legal reasons. But sometimes you can cause far more damage to a person with scandal and disgrace in front of everyone. She was totally shunned, and we haven't seen her in so long. Next story, my car again. My ex-wife has ruined my credit. A year before we divorced, I bought her a brand new hybrid Highlander. She has always had money issues even before we got together, but now that I'm no longer financially supporting her, her inability to control her spending is taking its toll. She is 2 months behind on her car payments and I'm not going to rescue her this time. I have already paid for the maintenance on the vehicle several times. I even bought new tires because she needed them and has our kid with her sometimes. I cannot let my kid be in danger just because her mom is a mooch. The loan is my name and the missed payments really hurt my credit. The registration is also in my name, so last week she went up on a trip with boyfriend and I took it back. I went to several dealerships and I sold it. I barely made enough to cover the loan from the sale, because the vehicle was in such rough shape. Update: I let her use the car since she's unable to get a car on her own due to her sub 500 credit score and a really bad history. It was a way of getting out of paying any kind of alimony or spousal support. She still has partial custody of our kid. Our kid still has to get to school and around town sometime. She had a really bad divorce lawyer. I ran circles around him representing myself. I am not saying I'm a legal genius, it was just very bad. Plus I was advised by my family who are legal geniuses. We were renting an apartment at the time, so other than my cars, we had no major assets to divide. And now we have reached the end of today's stories. Thank you for watching and see you next time.